What up, YouTube? It's your brother YT. Wake 'em up, back at it again with another video. So here's the latest update. Breaking news. This is what the people wanted. Trump has reduced the price of prescription drugs. Well, he's saying he's going to, right? So I hope this is not another broken promise from a politician. We know how they do. Sometimes they say things, they overpromise and fail to deliver. So let's just hope that the people can really see a reduction in the price for the prescriptions that they need. I'm going to hold my opinions on how I feel about the pharmaceutical industry and all of that. I'm going to let the people share how they feel about the latest update here. Family, you already know what to do. And if you're brand new too, thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash subscribe to join the tribe. And ring the post notification bell as well. All right, let's get into it.
For the first time in many years, we'll slash the cost of prescription drugs, and we will bring fairness to America. Drug prices will come down. Even though the United States is home to only 4% of the world's population, pharmaceutical companies make more than 2/3 of their profits in America. So think of that. With 4% of the population, the pharmaceutical companies make most of their money, most of their profits from America. That's not a good thing. Europe's going to have to pay a little bit more. The rest of the world's going to have to pay a little bit more, and America's going to pay a lot less.
The U.S. pays nearly 3 times as much for prescription drugs as other countries. And so the idea with this executive order is what's called the most favored nation status. So of high-income countries, who pays the lowest, that would be what the U.S. would be theoretically paying. Well, we really don't know that this is going to be any more successful. It's going to be contested in the federal courts again, which is how it failed last time. Well, there are numerous hurdles. A lot of this has to do with the pharmaceutical industry, which we do like to demonize as of late. But there are good reasons for that. Pharmaceutical industries do spend a tremendous amount of money. In fact, they're one of the biggest spenders on lobbying in D.C. And so really to change this, you would need an act of Congress to address campaign finance reform. There's a Supreme Court decision that goes back to 2010, which really allowed a lot more corporate spending under the guise of free speech. So that's part one. And then part two is you would need an act of Congress to really address how we negotiate drug prices. Because our healthcare system is so fragmented, we don't have one negotiator for our drug prices. It's each to his own. And so that would really need to be reformed and changed.
Better go refill your prescriptions now before they run out. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God. Literally cutting the prices of pharmaceutical drugs. You guys somehow, some way, are so angry. It's unbelievable. Like, you guys can't even admit it, that this is great. You guys can't do it. You guys, it's too hard for you. You're like...
See what I mean? The dude can't do shit right. So Trump, he slashed the prices. He wrote an executive order slashing the prices on pharmaceutical and drug prices, and he slashed it to about 80%. So pharmaceuticals and prescriptions, they're going to be about 80% cheaper. And here goes he can't do shit right. Whatever he do, there's something wrong with it. They say, oh well, we're gonna lose all our medication. We're gonna run out of the shelves are gonna get empty because the medication is gonna be so cheap. Shut the fuck up, man. This shit is crazy though. You can't make this shit up, man. Like I said, it's entertaining, but whatever the man does.
Now, for the people that need these prescriptions, this is a good thing. I don't know why they couldn't reduce the price in the first place or why they have to be so high. Prescriptions are extremely high for no reason. We all know that. Even when you get a discount, they're still high. When they give you the discount at the pharmacy, oh, let me put you on, let me give you the discount. It's still a high amount that you're paying. Why is that? In other countries, they can give you the same prescriptions for a fraction of the cost. So why do they have to be so high in America? That's for everything. It's always higher
Donald Trump may actually be doing a good thing. Hang out and hear this. So Trump is trying to lower the price of prescriptions in America. As you guys may know, maybe you don't, we pay the most really of anyone in the world for prescription drugs. And we don't do it because they're like more expensive here, harder to make, or we've got a better workforce. They simply charge us more for the same prescriptions. I used to buy my asthma drugs in France because they were 5 to 10 times cheaper. The same prescriptions made by the same company. The French government would simply negotiate the price and they'd give them a better deal. They charge America more. Case in point, Ozempic. Ozempic, we pay 10 times. That's the big weight loss drug that everyone's taking now. We pay 10 times in America what they pay in France. Let me show you this graphic. Look at this. $936 in America. At the bottom, $83 in France, $87 in Australia, $93 in the United Kingdom. That's again 10 times less. It's an insane list, guys. Now, what Trump is trying to do is basically say, whatever the cheapest price is in the world, that's what you better charge America. He may try to negotiate prices with Medicaid or Medicare or something. This is a proposal, by the way, the Democrats have been trying to do forever. For years, Democrats have been trying to say the government should use its power with so many members of Medicare, so many members of Medicaid, that the government has millions of people subscribing. We can use that power to get a better price from the pharmaceutical companies because we offer them so many people. Well, Republicans always said no. Some Democrats did too, though, because the pharmaceutical industry has bought a lot of people off, but a lot of them were Republicans. Trump is doing the right thing. Let's say if Republicans go along, let's say if the pharmaceutical companies don't freak out, but this is a big deal, and let's laud him for it. Hopefully he can pull it off.
And again, we're quitting our job before we have another one today. So today, he's going to make sure to lower those drug prices without having anything lined up. We make very little drugs here in America. So therefore, it's going to force a lot of things. But we don't have the manufacturing set up here in America. So let me break it down for you. So first off, the drug companies are going to want to have to play along. And there probably is going to be some major resistance at first. So watch out for major shortages to happen because they don't have to ship their drugs here. No, they do not. Insurances and co-pays are going to go through the roof. By the way, I just got injections the other day that I get all the time, and they were normally like $2, $3, $350 bill. Yep, I haven't had one since the dumpster fire came into office, and now all of a sudden my insurance went up to a co-payment of $350. And if you think Congress is going to do anything about this, what have they done about anything thus far? Fuck all. So why all you MAGAs are out there praising it, just go look at the tweet that he put. It will raise prices for the midterm in other countries and here. So who's going to mostly get affected? Well, seniors on Medicare, Medicaid, anybody who takes a government handout for your medication. Next is going to be people on diabetes medications. That's seriously going to be next. We don't make that here. And then next will be anybody on mental health medication, SSRIs, ADHD medication. Well, that's going to make RFK really happy. Phil, it's funny farms. Maybe the ones that the Afrikaners run, you'll go work on theirs. Then next, you'll have low-income families who can't afford a goddamn thing. That's mostly you people in the red states. So that's an FO right there. Can't wait for that one. And then the cancer patients. The cancer patients are going to be the ones that really get it in the end. So basically, your oldest, your sickest, your poorest are going to find that this bill that he's writing today are going to take it right in the ass. So when you bend the knee, don't forget to bend over and take it in the ass too.
Okay. So if this is true, y'all know me, I learn about what's going on based upon these videos, just like y'all learning, right? So if this is true, then it makes sense. Of course, it's always a catch, ain't it? If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And we know it's always a catch. They help you now, but later they gonna get theirs on the get back. So that's how it's looking according to this lady right here. Let me know, have you done research on this, and is this true information? Let me know. And so far, how do y'all feel about this? Do you feel, just based upon your own, understanding, do you think this would be a good thing or a bad thing, or a little bit of both? It's sounding like a little bit of both. Good right now, worse later, according to her.
Breaking news, guys. President Trump just signed an executive order. For the first time ever, the United States is going to get favored country status when it comes to medications. For those who don't know, the United States pays 200, 300, 400% sometimes above what everyone else is paying in medications. It's been going on for years. And no administrations, no Congress, no Democrats, no Republican they talk a good game, but never actually fronted the pharmaceutical companies. Until now. President Trump signed an executive order that whatever a developed nation is paying, that's what we are going to be paying. No longer taking advantage of the American citizen. Now, I want to see how the Democrats are going to try to spin this. What are they going to do? Get on the side of the pharmaceutical companies? Saying, hey, it's unfair. The pharmaceutical companies not going to be making any record profits anymore? And this goes for asthma, medicine, diabetes, cancer, everything. Everything. Asthma medication, it costs $500, it's going down to $40. Stuff that Ozempic, thousands of dollars, is going to be way less.
It's 1/6 that price in Australia and 1/10 that price in Sweden. 1/10 for the identical product. A common asthma drug costs almost $500 here in America, but costs less than $40 in the United Kingdom. So $40 in the United Kingdom, which is where this gentleman told me he paid a small amount for his shot. But think of that. So $40 versus $500 here. That's not even bad. There are much worse examples. And the weight loss drug, Ozempic, costs 10 times more in the United States than in the rest of the developed world. 10 times more. Why? What did we do? Suckers. But we never had a president that had the courage to do this. And nobody knew the system like I do. I mean, I've gotten to know this system so well.
Let us get a discount on holistic remedies and herbs, right? That's the real cure. We know the pharmaceutical industry, they take herbs and they cut it with, other things that aren't so good for the people. They're not so good for us. When the Most High gave us the real medicine, herbs, holistic remedies. Where the discount at on that? I need a discount on CMOS because they treating CMOS like the prices are crazy. They treating it like it's a real drug. Like people keep raising the prices. They charging like $70 an ounce. I don't know. I get a good deal on it, but I'm seeing all types of prices like that. Man, let us get a discount on Bladderwrack. Let us get a discount on Advanced TRS. All of these holistic remedies.
The village idiot Donald Trump, yesterday on Truth Social, posted that he is going to order, through executive order, pharmaceutical companies to lower their prices by 30 to 80%. And somehow, we don't know how because the Trump administration isn't answering any requests for follow-up because they don't know how they're going to do this yet, but somehow they're going to implement that through a most favored nation status, which means that the countries that pay the cheapest for U.S. drugs, we will pay for whatever the drug is. American consumers will pay the same amount for that particular drug. Whether this is going to be done through Medicaid and Medicare, we have no idea, and it's obvious that they don't as well. I mean, there's two things to maybe consider. First of all, you can't just do this in a democracy, right? This is going to be challenged in court unless you have a king or a dictator. They can't simply order companies to just cut the prices of all their products because you want them. Secondly, in addition to not being able to just do this in the United States, it's very likely, and they're going to lose in court. There's going to be these lengthy court battles like we had in the first Trump administration, and this is never going to happen. The problem is, though, if in the short term the village idiot is somehow able to scare or coerce these pharmaceutical companies, and I'm no fan of the pharmaceutical companies, don't get me wrong, they're not heroes by any stretch of the imagination. But if the village idiot somehow tries to force them overnight to shift their business models into this, situation that they're not designed to deal with, where they suddenly have to lower all of their costs and not sort of think through the strategy of how to do it, you're going to see drug shortages. You're going to see interfering with. You're going to see supply chain issues pop up with the drug companies. You're going to see manufacturing problems. You're going to see balance sheet issues. So, in the short term, if this amounts to anything more than just the village idiot making an announcement and signing an order that means nothing, if it's anything more than that, I would suggest you get a bunch of your drugs right now and store them for a while because they may not be available.
Let's talk about Trump's new plan to reduce pharmaceutical prices by up to 80%, and what does it mean for GLP-1s? The billion-dollar question is this plan going to be enforceable? Hi, my name is Sabina. I made a tool to help people compare providers for GLP-1 medications, and I care passionately about GLP-1 availability. During Trump's first term, he tried to pass a somewhat similar executive order, and it was found to not be enforceable, and it was struck down by a judge. It didn't have the backing of Congress. I watched his press briefing, and it seems like he is frustrated with Congress for not participating in this because he does want to get drug prices under control. And what's interesting is he seems to be doing it through potentially tariffs. One takeaway I have is that he continually reiterated that he liked Big Pharma, the people running those companies were good people, and they weren't actually going to lose money in this plan. The plan was to get European or other developed nations to pay closer to their fair share while not undercutting pharma profits. How does he intend for this to happen? By having the trade secretary negotiate with other developed nations to try to get them to increase their drug prices is the vibe I'm getting, which my first impression is they aren't going to want to. So what happens if pharma doesn't lower prices during this plan? The Secretary of Health and Human Services will create rules to enforce this. Create policy. It's currently kind of vague. In the last week, in anticipation of this, the NASDAQ Biotech Index was down 8%. It's up today about 3% right now. And Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk are both up today. So it seems like the first impression from the market is that they're not sure it's going to have as big of an impact. Now, Eli Lilly is up more than Novo Nordisk because it does seem like there's going to be preferential treatment for domestic drug companies over foreign drug companies. At the end of the day, because this is relatively vague and we're not sure what the enforcement is going to be, I'm not sure we should expect anything in the short term that is going to impact the price or availability of GLP-1s.
It can change like that.
So here we go. Are we ready for Trump's big announcement? Because this one is a big one. Trump is to sign an executive order that he says will slash drug pharmaceutical prices up to 80%. This is huge. Trump says, I'll be signing one of the most consequential executive orders in our country's history. Prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 30 to 80%. So I wanted to make sure this was true, and I said, hey, ChatGPT, is this really true? Is he really going to do this? And ChatGPT said yes. According to multiple reports, including Fox News, President Trump announced plans to sign an executive orders on Monday, May 12th, aims at significantly reducing prescription and drug prices in the U.S. The executive order intends to implement a most favored nation policy, which would tie U.S. drug prices to lowest prices paid to other countries for the same medication. This policy is a revival of similar initiative from Trump's first term, which was previously blocked in court and later rescinded by the Biden administration. The pharmaceutical industry has expressed strong oppositions, arguing that such measures could hinder innovation and limit patient access to certain medications. Really? The executive order is scheduled to be signed at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday. And by the way, he announced that on Truth Social. It doesn't surprise me that this is what Trump is doing. He's in there to help the people of our country. This is why I voted for him, and this is why I love him. He also recently in the past passed the Price Transparency Act for medications because hospitals were just rack up the billing for people and not tell them how much anything cost. When he said he had to literally chill out and kind of hang out in the background for a little bit because he pissed a lot of very powerful people off. Pharmaceutical industry. You don't want to mess with these institutions that are very powerful that make a lot of money off of the pharmaceuticals that they sell us. So he's put his career on the line, his business is on the line, his life on the line, and if you can't see that he's fighting for the people, I don't know what else to tell you. By their fruits you shall know them. His actions tell you everything you need to know. What do you think?
Okay, family, let me know what y'all think about what she just said right here. By the fruits that he's producing, do you think this man has good intentions or not? Do you think that he's taking on Big Pharma and he want to take them out? Because we know one thing about Trump, he's not scared to put his people in office. He's not scared to attack the powers that be. At least his last term he was. This term, it's kind of iffy, right? We really don't know what he's doing. It's like, I mean, he doing what he got to do. So it's like he playing both sides this term. I'm going to keep it real. It's like he playing both sides. So I want to know what y'all think in the comments below. See, me, I don't really trust no president. I don't vote. None of that. I'm not into politics. I'm just a watchman of what's going on, and I see what's going on. I'm going to give credit where it's due, and where I see them doing bad, I'm also going to speak about it. So y'all let me know.
So listen, guys, I'm always going to report the truth, even if it's about someone I absolutely can't stand. And yeah, that guy is Donald Trump. He just signed an executive order that could actually lower drug prices by tying Medicare payments to the lowest prices paid by other developed countries. And look, that is a good thing. Americans are drowning in prescription costs. A recent study found that average American pays about over $1,300 on prescription meds, and that's more than any other developed nation. We need relief, period. But here's the thing. One decent move doesn't wipe out everything else. You can't take a victory lap for lowering drug costs while you're slashing funding for social programs, treating immigrants like they're subhuman, and stripping LGBTQ plus people of basic human rights. This is literally just a simple way for him to get all of his supporters to say, see, Trump is doing great things, while ignoring all the other shit that he's trying to cut or already has. And let's not forget, this executive order is already facing pushback from Big Pharma. They're bitching about how it's going to hurt innovation, lead to shortages, basically anything they can throw at the wall to keep their billions intact. And even if this does go through, it mainly benefits Medicare recipients, which, is good. So if you're not on Medicare, though, you might still get stuck paying through the nose for those meds. So, yeah. Lower drug costs, good, but everything else, still a dumpster fire. You don't get a medal for doing one good thing while you're dismantling the country in every other way. And that's the truth, even if it's inconvenient.
On this one, we seem to have some mixed opinions. Some people like what Trump is doing. They feel like, hey, this is something good. Others, they feel like it's not so good. They feel like it's a setup. I want to hear from y'all, family members. Drop a comment below. Let me know. After watching this whole video, what is your conclusion? Let me know. I just want to hear your mind. I'm not asking no questions. Y'all just share what y'all think openly. That's what the comment section is for. This is a free space. Everybody can share what they think. And let's see which comment get the most thumbs ups. Let's see which one get the most likes. That means that's the most common opinion. Most people resonate with that comment. Family, I appreciate you. And if you made it to the end of the video, peace to my Hebrew family. Shalom. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one.